Welcome to my damn show. No. Folks, it has been a long week and a long day, but we made it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I would like to welcome you to the other side of midnight. That's it. The human being, the American, the YouTube Ronin. I've returned for one more week. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Left Check Productions. The tired midnight blogger himself, Curtis Selby. Channel member, JPRPH1. Joining us from the future, Sashi. Friend of the channel, Enigma Severus. Joe's atmosphere in the house. Mark Malnikoff, blah blah. Also like to say hello to everyone following along on Twitter. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. My guests are backstage, ready to go. Last call, Trip Shelley.
Hello?
Connie Cleary.
Heidi-ho.
And Aged Boomer.
Hello.
You're early on that one.
No, you're thinking of hello.
Yeah.
They just need to make that into a movie. Just Dougie at the casino.
Hello.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
And a new name to the chat. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. What's up? Subbed. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. This is my weekly chill stream. Sometimes I have a scheduled guest. Sometimes, like tonight, it's just a panel of friends. But, hope you enjoy the show. All right. Says JPRPH1 says as going to put on a pot of coffee, but I went for a beer instead. Okay, fair enough.
Both are great.
Yeah.
So is this tonight's discussion going to be a dissection of Order 66 from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith?
Okay.
No.
Order 66.
I'm like, is that because they didn't want to go too far and say Order 666? They didn't want to be that on the nose about it. I mean,
Oh, yeah, right.
And
it also does make you wonder what were the orders before that? Was order number 21 pick up my dry cleaning, something like that?
probably.
Yeah.
Just oh man. Palpy. Good old Palpy.
welcome back, Sashi, our man from the future, and of course, she of the smoldering Avatar Network. All right.
She's going to stay with us as long as she can.
Ah, right on.
Okay.
Okay. So I was thinking,
work tomorrow?
Yeah, no, actually, I don't.
Oh boy, you got Rip
Uh-oh.
Van Winkle over here, huh?
No, I wish. Let's see. Alex says, this is YouTube. This is deleted scenes. Watch and descend. Social media is the light of the eyes in the darkness.
He is not going to let that go. That really
He
affected
is.
him.
Well, that was
That was creepy. That is true.
it was creepy, and not only that, a lot of people not only do a lot of people watch that episode, and it's not only the most watched episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21 that we've done, it is now the most watched video ever on my channel. So it's okay. It struck a nerve, and
I want to capitalize on that a little bit. So it looks like I will be starting a stream, a weekly Tuesday night stream after Live from Sparkwood in 21, a rewatch of the classic British sci-fi series Blake 7.
I've heard of it's getting a DVD release, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Actually, I think it's a Blu-ray release.
Oh wow!
See, it's already been released on DVD in the UK. I actually have a copy of the UK DVD, but in order to watch it, I got to convert it to region free because regions, right? But I'll get the Blu-ray when it comes out because I am that much a fanatic for Blake 7.
There'll probably be a U.S. release for it because they're pretty good about bringing the Doctor Who stuff over here that they bring out and over in England. So
yeah, but Blake 7 doesn't really have the same. Doesn't have the same. I'm sorry, I'm getting coached over here, and I can't see the screen because my mic's in the way.
Oh.
So I apologize. Yeah, Blake 7 doesn't have the fan recognition over here that Doctor Who does. So I think they have believed historically that it doesn't have that much of a draw, which I disagree with, but I think that is the belief. We'll see. And now, with people like, and I'm not the only one sharing Blake 7 on YouTube, so we'll see what comes of it. And there he is, the outlaw himself.
My partner in crime, Outlaw Bill.
An outlaw arrives precisely when he means to.
Exactly.
Most definitely.
Exactly right.
Hello in the chat to Tim Hayes,
Hey, Tim.
who I hope to have back on the show here in the upcoming weeks. So, yeah. So, all right. Blake 7. Yeah. Which I have, of course, admitted in the past I've not seen.
what?
I know there is. I know that the first episode is. I know on YouTube. However, I have been unable to find any other episodes, and even then, I wouldn't know if I'm
watching them in order and stuff.
Watching them in order, watching them uncut.
There was something
that's what I would
really
prefer to do.
There was a release of it that some people have carried on YouTube that is incredibly confusing, where they've taken like almost a whole season or big chunks of a season and edited the episodes together into like movies. And it's like, I was kind of, I didn't understand. And a lot of the fans didn't care for that either. So, but you know what? We'll take it episode by episode. Now, I want to warn everybody. There are some great Blake 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But not every episode is great. Some of them are old school Doctor Who-ish, even original series Star Trek-ish. You know, like I was joking with Age of Boomer on the previous stream about Spock's brain. You know, I mean, like not every episode was a masterpiece. For every City on the Edge of Forever, there's a Spock's brain. Well, for every countdown in Blake 7, there's, I don't know, a bad episode. So they can't all be winners. You got to expect that sometimes, but it is worth it for all the good episodes.
Kind of like Different Strokes.
Yeah, every now and again you got to have that very special episode, right?
But they got to meet David Hasselhoff and Knight Rider one episode. Remember that? They went to Hollywood.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's so
Anything with Servalan is great. Yeah, she was. Jacqueline Pierce was. Oh, I love Jacqueline Pierce. Quit knocking Spock's brain.
Oh hell!
Yeah.
I have got to look this up now. Hold on.
Oh, you don't know the reference on Spock's brain? There's literally an episode where some aliens took out Spock's brain, and he's got this gizmo on his head, and he's being controlled by a remote control. It's
literally.
It's like, what were they smoking when they wrote this episode?
Could happen.
Or taking.
I don't know. Probably the same thing they were smoking when they did the hippie episode.
But at least that one, yeah, the musical segment there and all that was weird. But the basic story of the episode was great. The Way to Eden is what it was called. Yeah. And that was a great one, taking a bunch of space hippies to this planet that they thought was going to be their Eden. And it turns out that all the plants were poisonous. And I love that, especially in a show like Star Trek, because this idea that every planet you go to is habitable and breathable atmosphere, and you can eat the plants and make out with the alien chicks and have offspring. You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So when there's finally an episode where you're like, aha, here's one you can't live here, you'll die.
Spock's brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Well, even if you look it up on Google and ask for an image result, you'll be like, "What is this?"
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I think you were mentioning prior to us coming on something about Alien Romulus. Is that right?
Okay. Well, Copa Ex Machina, please sub to his channel. He has a video up that he actually put up in the last hour and a half or so about how to fix Alien Romulus, and it's a pretty decent video, if I may say, and it got me to thinking that every time somebody brings up and a critic, whoever, that didn't like the movie, they all bring up some different point about what was wrong with it, either lore wise or. And one of the things that Copa brought up was, if there are multiple versions of Ash running around, that would make the Nostromo crew look pretty stupid, because wouldn't they know he's not on the level? And I'm like, oh my God, you're right.
They didn't know he was an android. They thought he was a regular science officer.
Yes.
And then I kept thinking, well, it's great that at least Ian Holm got to play the part again. Oh, wait, he's been dead for a number of years. I don't understand.
Right.
It's just
memories.
You have the fact that if there are multiple versions of Ash running around, they would know. The Nostromo got destroyed with what is effectively 3 nuclear explosions. There would be nothing left. What are they finding at the beginning of this movie? Not
Have you
only,
seen the pitch
all right,
meeting?
have I seen the pitch meeting?
Yeah.
I'm sure I probably have, but I'm kind of blanking on it right now.
Yeah, you want to
I'm
check
sure
it out.
I'm sure he
Covers
ripped it a
some of
new
that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the more I think about it, the more holes you can poke in it plot wise. And I'm just like, I am trying to decide right now what the worst movie of the year has been so far. Is it Alien, Romulus, or The Crow? And I'm going to have a hard time choosing between the two because they're equally as freaking bad.
Have you
I would
seen
say-
The Crow? I'm sorry. No, it's
Go
okay.
ahead.
Go ahead. Sure,
Yeah,
I don't-
All I was going to say
I-
about that is
yeah.
I can, without having seen either movie, I can answer that for you. The Crow was worse because at least Romulus was just, you know, a problem, a film that had problems with it. It wasn't blasphemous.
There were
Okay.
good things in Romulus. The android, the other android, the one who you thought
Yeah.
was the simple.
He's
That
great.
was a good idea. That
Yeah.
was
He's the best part of the film.
He
Hands
is.
down. Maybe the only good part of it, really.
Then of course we have to get Ridley Scott's engineers crap back in there and Prometheus and all that because we can never let that go now.
So, no, you know, the xenomorphs are not these, you know, Lovecraftian creatures that have been out in space for thousands of years and we don't know where they came from. Oh, no. Wait, they got grown in a lab by a bunch of gay robots.
Which means they're
Okay.
not really aliens. You know,
Nope.
they were made in the lab.
That's a great point. They're not even aliens now.
Yeah, Red Letter Media, I
Replicants.
stole it from them.
I'm at a point now where I'm just okay. There are only 2 of these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is there a better missing Alien and Aliens? We're not going to count those, but as far as the other Alien movies go, is Romulus still better than any of the other ones that came after Aliens? That's what I'm curious about.
No.
Oh, your thought. Which is better? Don't you dare say Alien 3. You're gonna say Alien 3.
All right, here's my thing about Alien 3. Okay, because
Boy.
it's a movie that I have a love-hate relationship with. Because one of the things you have to understand is kind of where my head was at when I first saw that movie. It was a very kind of dark time in my life.
Right.
And I was seeking out movies that were the darker, the better, you know, the most tragic ending, the better. That's where I was at. Yeah. Okay. Screw it. Wipe out everybody. Who cares? You know, that's kind of where my head was at. So that didn't bother me when I first saw it. Now I watch it and I go, no, that's where I had the problem. You know, and I actually prefer what is referred to as the assembly cut. I actually prefer that version, but it still has a lot of problems. You know, it clears up some issues from the theatrical cut. There are things that make more sense now. There's entire subplots that actually do play out over the course of the movie. In the theatrical version, it doesn't. So it's not the worst one, but it's down there. It's low on the list. Resurrection, I actually have some fun with.
There were
I
interesting
people
things in
don't like-
Resurrection.
Mhm.
And Romulus, in my opinion, is basically a remake of Resurrection with, you know, things from the first 2 movies thrown in.
Like the alien baby at the end. Spoiler,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
They brought the half-human alien baby back. It's like, no.
What the hell?
Yeah. And
Except this time he looks like an engineer, so it's now
Yeah.
it's all come full
Uh-huh.
circle because we have to always bring it back to the engineers. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm being bad.
it's a weird thing. It rips off so much of a resurrection, and then at the same time does its damnedest to try and nix it from the from the lore, and it's so contradictory. Now, the AVP movies, the Alien versus Predator movies, I kind of at this point I separate those from they're their own thing.
I saw the first one. I've heard stories of the second one. I've not seen it.
The second one actually has some scary scenes in it. There are a couple of bits in there where it was like, ugh, okay, that's fucking unpleasant. But and that was also the first movie to have a pregnant woman get infected, and what would happen. And and without going into too much detail, what happens in AVP2 is much more grim. That movie gave 0 Fs. Nobody was safe. It did not matter who you are.
That means the dog got killed too, probably, right?
Almost everybody pretty much buys it in that film. I think there was a dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the next movie then should have been Alien versus Predator versus John Wick. Oh, that would have been brilliant.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing John Wick show up in an Alien movie. Just
John, we're surrounded by xenomorphs. Get us out before we're excommunicated. Yeah.
I have a question though. Is Alien Romulus a success or not?
Well, funny that you ask. Because it just so happens that there was a certain show that was on earlier that brought up a certain article that had that particular information in it.
Big drop off.
Yes. So we have the box office right here. Deadpool and Wolverine still hanging in there at number 1. Alien Romulus at number 2 was 61% drop off, which honestly doesn't surprise me. It ends with us hanging on, based on the Colleen Hoover book, with Blake Lively, of course, which is interesting because I really haven't heard after the first week anybody really talking about it at all. Does anybody know how it's doing review wise or anything? Are people digging it? Or I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I'm gonna guess that I am not in the target demographic for the film. So but I'm not mad it exists. I like Blake Lively. I hate saying this. This is gonna sound I'm gonna get totally canceled for saying this, but I'm just being realistic here. She may actually be getting a little bit of a boost, or the movie might be getting a little bit of a boost because she's married to Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds is influential right now.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. If she wasn't good, if the movie wasn't good, if she didn't deserve it, and she was getting a boost because of that, I'd say that's bad. But I think anything that gets eyes on a film that's otherwise good, that is well liked by its demographic, awesome. That's marketing.
Yeah, this I'm trying to think what has come out this year. What would be my favorite movie of the year? I think it might still be The Beekeeper out of all the movies I've seen.
The Beekeeper's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like that. And they actually had the backbone to make a Hunter Biden type character the villain.
Yeah, basically, yeah, as the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think though. I watched The Bike Riders recently because I was hoping that would be it's like a period drama about biker gangs in the Chicago area, and I'm just no. Man, I've had a week to think on it. No, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it. I don't know if you
Really?
saw it or not. Did you like it?
I did. Yeah.
Dude, okay. Troy hasn't seen it, so I'm not going to say anything.
I
I just felt the ending. I was expecting something to happen at the end that didn't happen. Go ahead, though.
What
Okay.
Curtis Selby said there, he was talking about Batman versus Predator, which, yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, they should make that.
You know what's even better? Superman Alien, which Netter just had to replace for me because it got destroyed in the water thing.
Yeah,
but it is a good Elseworld. Superman in space, losing his powers because he's been exposed to red sunlight, gets infected by an alien.
What?
Yep.
Dude, man, if one of those, if one of them bursts out of Superman, it'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how it ends because that'd be spoiling it. But
know what we need? We need
Spoilers.
We need Ben Affleck in the Batman versus Predator, and he could say, "Do you bleed?" You know, he could be saying that to the Predator, right? You know?
Yeah, in fact, it glows. And I think I'd be okay with the Man of Steel Snyderverse version of Superman being in a one-shot Superman Alien. I think that actually would be kind of cool.
I want to say hello to Jonathon Conroy. Said they should have made a three-way battle with aliens, predators, and marines. Well, there's a sequence in Alien versus Predator Requiem, which is the second one, where that scenario happens.
I am going to have to do a video sometime about and actually, as we get into October, Boomer, maybe we make this a good old days. I would love to talk about the game by WizKids called Horror Clicks. Now, remember,
we can do a good old days on it, sure.
WizKids were the ones that are still doing Hero Clicks, but Horror Clicks was the same concept except with the horror genre, and they started towards the end of their run getting into licensed horror click figures. So they did one, for example, Freddy versus Jason, and they did one Alien versus Predator. And with them, what was cool was not only could you go out and get the Alien versus Predator box set that had the both kinds of figures, there were boosters for both Aliens and for Predators. And what really worked great was they had a clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque Marine character with the chain feeding automatic weapon, was, and there were other Marine characters that you could use. So you literally could play a Horror Clicks game of Alien versus Predator versus Marines. Seriously, I kid you not.
Nice.
Cool.
Mark Malnikov says, I want to see the Borg assimilate the aliens. Well, didn't Jonathan Frakes call that film his version of Alien? Anyway, what was the name of it? First Contact?
First Contact, yeah. Kinda.
Yeah.
See, I think that would be a hard sell for me, Mark, because I feel like the aliens from Alien would be too much like, for example, Species 849 whatever to the Undine, right? The
865
ones that couldn't
5309. Yeah.
the ones that couldn't be assimilated by the Borg, right? Their technology was based on, biological ships and computers grown from cells and whatnot, and they were so alien the Borg couldn't assimilate them. I kind of feel like the aliens would be kind of the same thing, if for no other reason because of the whole acid blood thing, But I don't know. If you're looking for crossovers, though, there was a good comic series, mini series, that combined. It was Star Trek: The Next Generation meets Doctor Who, and they had the Borg teaming up with and being adversaries of the Cybermen.
Mm.
Yes, that's where all the good stories, and that's what really got the whole Alien versus Predator concept going, was those Dark Horse comics.
Mhm.
That's the only reason that that those movies got made. And the first one, was good enough, but again, the problem is these people come in and do these franchises without understanding the franchises. Again, go back to the source material. Either take comics that people love, which is the reason they want to see this, and just adapt them into movies, or reach out to those comic book writers and say, write my movie for me. They can't do it, though, because the industry, the Hollywood machine won't allow them to. They have to nepo their own writers who are incapable because they don't understand the franchise. I feel like a side character in the Music Man, but they don't know the territory.
I feel like with Disney, though, with everything they own, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. That's another problem.
Too many cooks. Oh,
unless you're Ryan Johnson, then they'll let you do whatever you want. But
make sure when you get a chance, Boomer, look up Too Many Cooks, Adult Swim.
Okay, I'll do that.
Lord.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's nightmare fuel. Don't do it like just before you go to bed or anything.
Do you think they're going to do a follow-up to Alien? Oh, they're doing the Alien TV show. Never mind. We are getting a follow-up. The Alien, whatever it's called.
But they're making it in the form of a sitcom. I wouldn't be surprised. No, seriously, Star Trek is doing that. That's one of the planned projects. They want to make a Star Trek sitcom.
Well, isn't Lower Decks supposed to be a sitcom?
Kind of.
Animated, but still, yeah.
Why don't they make a Star Trek version of the Love Boat? Huh? They could do that. Quark would be the bartender. It would be.
There was it a Saturday Night Live sketch or somebody did that where they had the Next Gen cast as the Love Boat. So you had like Captain Picard as Captain Stubing, which was perfect. You had Isaac and Geordi. Yeah, I could.
That was
Deanna Troy, your
Saturday
cruise
Night
director.
Live, I think. Yeah.
Was it Saturday Night? Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
I think
kind of
so.
dig that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Back when it was still funny.
Yeah, I remember those days. It's been a long time. It hasn't been since the 80s, maybe early 90s, maybe.
Now it's just non-humor, and just it's not for me. And hello to the Peter Venkman fans. I think it was Mad TV, but I'm sure Mad TV went after it too.
Yeah.
But I do remember Patrick Stewart being on a Saturday Night Live episode where they did a similar thing. Okay. Well. Sashi says, I keep saying aliens from the perspective of the face hugger. They're just looking for hugs, but are constantly being denied. It should be a musical. Starring Lady Gaga as the face hugger.
I like Resurrection. Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, going back to Boomer's original question there. Of the Alien sequels, I would have to say best one, Resurrection. Prometheus is better made, but Resurrection has a rewatchability factor to it for me.
Covenant
is god awful.
Okay. Michael Fassbender's great in it, though. That's what bothers me.
Fassbender is great, yes, but
he does a dual role in that movie. It's just
and then they get to that scene with the flute, and it's "I'll do the fingering," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck off, movie."
Yeah,
you were trying to.
Yeah,
that was Ridley Scott. That was him.
Thank God, Catherine Waterston's cute. I never would have made it to that movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Did you hear saying
hi? Yes.
People in Prometheus, characters in Prometheus and Covenant do things that I feel is just stupid. Like you have the Billy Crudup character who's religious, and he's like, I saw the devil once when I was a child. Like he's not trusting Adam, and it's like, yeah, you shouldn't trust him because he's evil. Yeah, you still go and you look. What's this thing? It's the face. It's the thing that the face hugger comes out. It's like, it's like evil, and there's something wrong with this android. Stay away.
Yes, this guy is not on the up and up. Don't stick your face into the thing he wants you to stick your face into. Come on. Watchmen was the only movie you were in where I didn't want to beat you to death with a rake. Come on.
It was in that one with Claire Danes about the first female actor in a Shakespeare play. I remember that one.
I know which one you mean. I didn't see it.
Stage Beauty, that was what it was called. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Well, Covenant, I felt like they should have put like the cartoon sound effects over, like slipping on a banana peel or something, because I mean half the characters in that movie pretty much killed themselves. I'm like, why are there even xenomorphs in this movie? You don't need them. These people are clearly not the B team. I mean, they're clearly not the A team, not the B team either. To be honest, I mean, if your Oscar performance is frickin' Danny McBride, you're going down the wrong road. I did like him in that movie though. He was good. He's kind of like Parker. He was a good character. Tennessee. Anyway, yeah, Covenant is not good. Romulus even worse, because the difference between Covenant and Romulus is at least Covenant wasn't just pieces of the other movies. And that's all Romulus is to me. It's a mixtape of the other movies.
Like you have stuff from Aliens and stuff from the original in there. We have the android from the original in there. Yeah. So
yeah. And hello to Thunderheart. Good to see you, sir.
Let's get ready to grumble. Well, we already are.
We already are. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting to the point now where, I could just
who cares about that? I'm booking tickets right now to Terrifier 3. I love that franchise.
I haven't seen any of those yet.
I need to
watch
those.
I need to catch up on.
You haven't seen Terrifier? Oh my god!
I've heard of it. I've not seen it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Both of them.
It is the great slasher above slashers. Art the Clown is completely psycho and crazy, and I love it. And he gets under your skin. Yeah.
Literally.
Sachi's back.
Okay. So,
He says,
yeah.
when do we not grumble? Yes, that is true. That is
Well,
true.
I try not to.
Sometimes we have no choice. There's a lot of crap going on that we gotta call it out.
Are any of
Yeah.
you gonna see Beetlejuice when it opens up in this week? Comes out
I don't
on
know
the
I don't know if I'll get it. Go ahead.
No, I plan to see it. I just don't know when exactly. I'll have to see when I can get my schedule to mess with the screening.
Comes out on the 6th, but like there's like advanced screenings like on the 4th.
Yeah. Right. I shall consult the scrolls. And of course, by the scrolls, I mean the Regal website. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk.
Yeah,
talk.
I can't promise that I'm going to be seeing it like right away, but I do definitely want to see it.
Same here. When? Do not know.
I don't know. I'm torn between seeing it a couple days before everybody else, or like wait, I haven't been. I've only been to one movie this year, and but that was I saw I seen Art the King.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one other movie that I seen this year. And I can't remember what. It was a good movie, but I can't remember the reason. Brain fart. Long day.
What was it about?
Yeah.
Was it that jackpot movie?
Oh no! It was a Ghostbusters movie. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
I think maybe
Those are the only two movies I've actually gone out to the theater to see. All the rest of the movies I've been watching from home.
Part of me feels like
that life. I don't get out much.
I kind of feel like I should hold off on watching Beetlejuice until I've seen, because I've only seen The Exorcist 165 times, so maybe I should see it 2 more times before I see the next Beetlejuice
getting
movie.
funnier every time I see it.
Yep, exactly.
Isn't there some movie with John Cena and Aquafina on Amazon, Jackpot or something?
Yeah, I saw Al's review for that. Yeah.
Did he like it? I guess we should watch the review. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, watch the review. Yeah, watch.
I just saw them advertising, and it's like no, it's like that sack lunch movie Elena on Seinfeld wanted to see. Instead of The English Patient, it was Sack Lunch. It was the family in the lunch sack on the poster, and it's like, no, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Sorry.
Yeah, the idea behind Jackpot, in case anybody is not familiar with it, is it's the near future. It's kind of like the Running Man in a lot of ways. You have a lottery, and if you are chosen and you survive the next 24 hours, you will win. However, everybody's trying to kill you in the process. And Aquafina gets chosen. John Cena shows up, cut me in on the jackpot, and I'll watch your back through the rest of the day. And I got to tell you, sounds like an interesting premise. I'm sort of curious about it. Even though, honestly, they both kind of grate on my nerves after a while. I have Amazon. I think it's free on Amazon. I could probably watch it. I don't know. It's one of those. I'll watch it, but I'm not in a hurry. And this is the thing that's changed since streaming has become a thing, or since riding the high seas, which we do not condone. I repeat, we do not condone. We do not condone riding the high seas, but you know,
I highly recommend it.
I am at a point now where I put movies into categories. The movies that I'm willing to go and pay for in theaters, which are very few. Movies that I'm willing to, movies where I'll wait and watch it like on a streaming service, and then riding the high seas, which I catch myself doing more and more of late. Who would willingly watch a movie with Awkwafina? Well, I got to be honest with you. I thought she was funny in Crazy Rich Asians.
She was also in Renfield, right?
She is in Renfield. I haven't seen that yet.
It's a good movie.
I still haven't seen it.
It's really good.
I enjoyed it, and I'm a huge Universal Monsters fan. It is a comedy, let's be honest. But it was very, very enjoyable.
Okay. And we have Mark Malikoff with watch the 70s film The Lottery. You mentioned Lottery and brought that to mind. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right. So any last thoughts on Alien Romulus or the weekend's box office before we
Alien Romulus will still be better than that Alien TV show we're getting. That's just a prediction. I got a bad feeling, though. That one's going to have Sigourney Weaver in it, though, apparently, right?
Is it?
I saw her in the trailer for it. No, so I don't know if she's playing a Ripley descendant.
No, this is not reality. There's no universe where there's an alien TV show. No, I won't have it. That universe does not exist.
Okay.
You know, I want to go back to what Jonathon Conroy was saying. I've said this many times too. I know, Boomer, you've heard me say this. This is why the whole concept of film critique or reviews exist, right? You find out who the reviewers are that you tend to agree with, and before you go and spend your money, because it's getting more and more expensive all the time, what movies you're going to enjoy and which ones you want to support. And even if there's a movie that you really, really want to see, if that certain reviewer says, yeah, this sucked, you're like, damn. And I've told the story, and I don't even remember what movie it was now, but years ago, there was a reviewer, Michael Medved, that I used to listen to all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time he said a movie was good, I knew I would enjoy it. If he said it was bad, I wouldn't enjoy it. And there was one movie that he reviewed that he said was terrible. And I'm like, I really want to see that movie. I'm going to go see it. And I swear, I was halfway through the movie and I'm like, I should have saved my money. I know I should just listen to Michael Medved, And there are YouTubers that are like that too.
What was the movie?
I don't remember now. It was, damn, I can't remember.
Sometimes I click on the old Siskel Ebert worst of whatever year.
Yeah.
They really went after Bolero.
I still like it. I still like it.
Well,
I'm not saying it's a good movie, but I like it.
Yeah. I just know the scene they're showing when she's at the bowl game, and then she's like, "Oh, this is so exciting! Why aren't there more people here?" And blah, and then suddenly you see the scene with the bull charging the guy, and it's in slow motion. And I'm like, "Oh, the bull is going after the sweet spot there." I busted out laughing. I'm sorry. In their review, they were all upset, but they were all angry. But I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. They hated Siskel hated Amityville 2 as well. He was very angry about that movie.
Yeah, I like that one too. But then when I learned about how little it had to do with reality, I was like, oh
yeah,
God.
no.
No.
Like, The Conjuring's a good movie. None of it friggin' happened, but it's a good movie.
I didn't watch any of the spin-off Conjuring movies like The Curse of La Llorona or The Nun. I don't know if they were any good. I just never.
I am way behind on those. You know how a completist I am. I'm kind of wanting to get all of them, and I got a lot of them on DVD. I just haven't watched them all yet.
Now, La Llorona is not good.
Yeah.
It's
Horrible.
It's very generic. It's a generic movie.
So I thought it would be tying into the lore of that famous legend, right? But I guess not, or I don't know.
Well, it's yes and no. And the only real reason it ties into The Conjuring is because the Father Perez character is in it from Annabelle.
Okay.
And that's the only way it really kind of connects to any of them. I didn't hate it. It's just
kind of there.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. I liked The Nun. That was a lot of fun because I watched that in a theater full of people. It was packed, which was at that point in time, and even now, something of a rarity. But one thing I do notice is that horror movies tend to get the bigger crowds, and so I saw The Nun, theater full of people, had a blast. It is an hour and a half. It's pretty well paced. It's all jump scares, but it was fun. It was fun. As Jonathan Conroy says, Hollywood needs to focus on 90-minute movies that are creative and not activist motivated. Exactly. I think there needs to be more films like that.
90 minutes? Come on now. We got to get close to that 3-hour mark every time. There's nothing I like more than having my time wasted. I'm sorry.
There's nothing I like more than having my time wasted.
90 minutes was the European standard for movie length, whereas Hollywood tended to go more toward 2 hours, and the Europeans had it right. I think 90 minutes is the sweet spot. The Warriors. We did the Warriors rewatch on your channel, and is that you wouldn't think that was a 90-minute movie because so much happens in it, but it's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they don't waste time. They don't have time with the person outside, like on some of these Star Wars shows where Sabine is like, with people just walking around doing nothing for like, just
I watched
with the metal detector.
Yeah, I watched The French Connection a while back, and I could have sworn that movie was like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something because of all that happens in it. It's an hour and 43 minutes.
Well, it's possible it was 2 hours and 15
because
you just cut a bunch of stuff out of it. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't want this to come off sounding like this is in a bad way. it seems longer, but that's just because they pack so much into it, like you just said with the Warriors.
Right.
You know, it's it may seem long, but it's not. I just make more one-off movies. Go for 90 minutes, hour 45, whatever. It's really all you need.
Most movies, only need that.
Keep the budget down. Less CGI, more practical. Like I put a thing out on Twitter a while back, and there was like somebody had made this image of Mel Gibson, present day Mel Gibson, as Max. So I saved the picture, and then I put up Old Man Max, 90 minutes, no CGI.
What it looked
and
like.
Everybody loved that. Okay. That's what we want to see. I mean, this is not hard. I don't understand why they want to make this difficult. It's very simple. You just listen to the fans that are there. You don't have to. They play to these activists, and I don't get it. It's like suddenly they're just allergic to money.
Newsflash: Hollywood doesn't care about us old folks. They
Obviously.
don't care about the original fans. They don't care.
But you say that, but then they do stuff like Romulus that does all these callbacks to the old Alien movies. Then, so who's it for?
That's because I know it gets us nostalgia and memory berries.
They think, that's exactly right. They think
cash grab.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is their honest opinion of fans. They think all we have to do is throw in the member berries. We'll get the old fans back. They don't really, Oh,
that's one of the things that Ryan George makes fun of in the pitch. Hey, that's the guy from the first movie. Hey, he said that in the first movie.
That's the guy from that other thing. Hey, they said that in the other movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he's making fun of. And go ahead.
But that's just it. They have not learned, and it should be out. Anyone who's paying any attention knows this. That is not enough. It actually pisses off the fans. You see the fans calling out Romulus saying, get away from her, you bitch. That makes zero fucking sense in this context.
Yeah, because
first off, this is not a phrase that they've ever heard before because they don't know who the fuck Ripley is. It's a android who has no reason to use that kind of language. It makes no fucking sense. So there are no member berries to be had there.
You mean it made sense for Ripley because it was like a mother versus mother, get away from her, you bitch, because it was the Queen Alien and Rip. Yeah,
exactly.
It makes sense in that context. It doesn't make any sense in this.
Yeah. And good night, Tim.
Yeah, take care, Tim.
Now, they have the android say, "Get away from her, you bitch." Now, and I'm going to do this as devil's advocate. I still think it's dumb as shit, but it is. I'm going to say this as devil's advocate, so stick with me for a minute. Okay, so he is an android. androids, even in the alien films, follow the whole 3 rules of robotics thing, right?
Right.
One of the rules is you don't allow harm to happen to a human being. Now, this is a human being who basically he has been programmed to treat as if this is his sister. And that's the relationship. It's a brother-sister thing.
Sure.
So him taking out an alien that's going to attack her and say, get away from her, makes sense.
Yeah.
If you say it by itself. But
right.
the sticking into you, bitch, I think he says that within the context of this film because the Cockney kid is always saying bitch all the time, which I know because it's the one word he makes intelligible out of all his dialogue.
No, so making fun of that on Red Letter Media. Salt in the water.
What is it? Hot? So that, oh, you're fucking shite. Oh, you fucking bitch. Yeah, all right, that's it. Right, you go like the alien over there. Right, let's go poke with that fucking stick. Dude, the entire movie, I have seen Alien Romulus twice. This kid is unintelligible at any speed.
You need the subtitles.
I did need subtitles, and this is when I was talking about earlier with these other reviews that I have been watching, about the movie, and they'll bring up like a plot point or something, and then I'm like, when did that happen in the movie? Oh, well, all right. Well, the British kid said, oh, you got that from the British kid. Good for you. I don't know what the British kid said. You put all of this expository dialogue in the mouth of a person who clearly does not know how to speak. Good for you. I'm glad you figured that out. I have no clue what's happening in the film.
Only to be repeated by a character who doesn't understand the context of the words that are being used. There's no logical reason for him to say that. Not to mention, here's another thing. You got to remember that when Ripley says that line in Aliens 2, Aliens. Alien 2 would be Aliens. So Aliens.
Yeah.
The storyline, as Boomer pointed out, the storyline has a strong mother representation. We had this whole thing about Ripley's daughter and so on and so forth. Ripley taking care of Newt as a surrogate mother, and the Hive Queen, who is effectively the alien's mother.
Yes.
So to call her a bitch makes perfect sense in that motherly context.
Yes.
It makes zero sense for an android, for a brother figure, against an alien that isn't a hive mother. It makes zero sense, period.
Well,
but heaven forbid we get good writing that makes sense. Intelligent narratives. That is the problem here. And I'm going to really be getting into this a lot more on Friday when we're talking about scapegoating the fans and saying, well, it's your fault you didn't like it. No, it's your fault you made something I didn't like. When I send it back, when I send my meal back at a restaurant, they better not come out here and say it's my fault for not liking it. Screw you.
Well, what do we have coming out?
Well, I tell you, Boomer, to answer your question there are 2 movies that I'm actually looking forward to.
Cool.
One is Nosferatu.
Yes.
Granted, a remake, but it looks good.
This would be like the second remake, right?
Yeah.
This the second remake of a ripoff of Dracula.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it is my most anticipated freaking movie of the rest of the year. So go figure.
I know.
You
I know. I'm not making
This
an
is-
argument against what you said.
Yeah. This is what I've been reduced to, you know. A beta release, basically.
Yeah.
Made by a director who's very hit and miss with me. But you've got Willem Dafoe basically as the Van Helsing character. I mean, he's already been the vampire, so you know now he's got to be the Van Helsing. That'll be interesting. I think Skarsgård can do it.
I think in the next version he's going to be playing the Nina character.
Funny.
Look, with the way Hollywood's going these days, I wouldn't put it past him.
And the other movie I'm looking forward to is technically also a remake because there's already been a television version, and that's called the Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And it's based on a children's book, and they made one of those. I don't want to say an after school special because it wasn't an after school special because I think they showed it like at night, but it's like
Right.
but as like an hour long with commercials, it's like 48, 50 minutes, something like that. And what that's about is every year this town makes the big deal out of doing the Christmas pageant and the nativity story. And the woman who always directs it gets in an accident and breaks her leg, and she's bedridden, so she can't do it. So this other woman gets roped into kind of having to direct this thing. And these group of kids, the Herdmans siblings, there's like 5 or 6 of them, get the idea, and they're kind of looked at as the bullies, the wrong side of the track kids and all that. They get the idea in their head, we want to be into play.
Oh.
So silly. So kind of wackiness ensues from there. This woman who really kind of gets roped into this situation. She doesn't really want to be in it, and I'd rather just watch this thing than direct it. But now she's got to put this thing together with like these kids who are basically chupacabras in human skin suits, It's really funny. It's very sweet. It's got a nice message. I hope they don't blow the movie. I know Judy Greer's in it. Pete Holmes is in it. Past that, I'm not really familiar with anybody else. But I want to see it because I always like that story, and I liked the original TV version of it. So I'm gonna check that out, and it's not gonna come out until like about Thanksgiving, Christmas time. But yeah, that one I'm looking forward to.
What about the Christmas movie with Dwayne Johnson and Chris? Evans?
That, yeah, I saw the the thing that's kind of like the reverse Violent Night. Yeah.
Have you seen this trailer, Troy? Anyone in the chat? No. Anyone?
I don't
They have.
think so, no.
Isn't it called Project Red or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's got a Krampus in it.
You know, I'm reading Curtis Selby's comment. He's talking to JPRPH1 there, and I can't help but hear it in Peter Falk's voice. Well, one more question.
One more thing. There's one more thing.
one more.
Dr. Smendrick, I know you killed your wife and stuffed her in a duffel bag. I'm afraid I'm going to have to arrest you.
He had a mechanical arm.
Yeah. You find this man. Oh, wait, it shouldn't be too hard for them. He's probably downstairs right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert for the 30-year-old movie. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell you, man, about The Fugitive, Chicago PD does not come off very well at all in that film. And the funny thing about it is all of the guys who play Chicago cops in that movie were real Chicago cops before they were actors, you know. And they're playing like, you know, the dumbest people in law enforcement, you know. I mean, even at the end of the movie, the guy's like, yeah, you know, Kimball did it. You got the fucking one-armed man right there, you know. It's in cops.
Well, remember when they interviewed him and he's like, "Oh, I have to be the one that did it. I'm the one-armed man." Remember when he said that to Tommy Lee Jones? It's like, and Tommy Lee Jones at that moment knew something wasn't quite right with that guy. Remember that? I have to.
Yeah.
What did you think of actually who played? That was the guy who played Shakar on Babylon 5. He was the one-armed man in that movie. Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Andreas Katsoulis. He also played Ambassador Tomalak on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes, he was in the finale. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another song.
Another what?
Is it me, or is that door just sigh at me? I think of myself.
So, what was the other subject you wanted to tackle tonight, Delita? Was it the Crow or was it something else?
Oh, God.
Okay. The Crow. Oh,
Right.
Lord.
Why?
Now here's the thing about the Crow, in my opinion. Okay, if number one, calling it a remake. All right. Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, they're complaining about the fact that we're calling it a remake. Yes, it's a remake because you told us it was a remake, and you're putting in characters from the original comic. You know, all they had to do. And again, folks, this is just my opinion. And hello to the Late Late Horror Show. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Yes.
Hi, Dino.
Hello, Dino. Subscribe to the Late Late Horror Show. A lot of really cool content on there, and I listen to the old Dragnet radio shows when they play them. Now, my thought on I did a whole episode of I did the physical media show over on Greg's channel Wednesday night. I subbed for Rookie, and Tom Connors and I went into like about a good half-hour tirade over the Crow. I pretty much said everything I needed to say about it on there, but you know, it's the main issue I have is you can't make this movie and still call the characters Eric Draven and Shelley Webster. You can't. All they have to do is just change the names. You don't even have to change the movie. I would have said, you know what? It's just a lame, generic action movie. So what? But, I mean, I refuse to call it a remake because it's not. I refuse to call these two characters Eric Draven and Shelley Webster because they're not.
By far.
Yep.
Were they unlikable in this movie? I think I heard somewhere they were.
Yes. nobody is a likable character in this thing. Because they're junkies. They're basically junkies. They escape from this rehab. The first 15 minutes of the movie is pretty much about Shelley. As far as I'm concerned, she's pretty much the lead character of the damn movie.
Because they want you to like her so that when she gets dead, you care.
Yeah, but you don't, because
Basically.
she's pretty much responsible for a lot of it.
I know, if the audience is sitting there going, girl, you freaking had it coming, then it destroys the whole premise for the film.
Yeah, this is in The Crow. Eric Draven had an anti-drug message. The reboot made him an addict. Yes. Yeah. And that's if I had to boil it down to the one thing I had the most problem with, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You do not do what you do to this character and call him Eric Draven. You don't.
Yep.
Dino is saying Sid and Nancy. Yeah, it's more like Sid and Nancy in a crow skin suit. I mean, that's what this movie is. Also, watch Sid and Nancy, because it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman is Sid Vicious. Yes, please.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, man, there are just so many problems with this movie. That's one of them. It's all right. Boiling down the plot, the villain is this guy who I guess is kind of a demonic type character. He has this ability to sort of control people's minds, basically. He has this supernatural ability where, he can tell you, hey, take this knife and go kill somebody. And that's what he does to Shelley, is he pulls this Jedi mind trick on her and gets her to kill somebody. And she has this on tape. Not on tape, obviously. She, there's a recording of this murder and him goading her into doing this murder. So the villain wants the phone. He wants this recording, which is weird because it's already explained that he owns the cops. So who's he trying to protect himself from? Doesn't make any sense. So he sends his goons, who I call Udo Kier and Tilda Swinton, because that's who they look like. And that's another weird thing about this movie, is that everybody's freaking European and it's supposed to be in New York or some damn where. It's like, okay, where are we? When are we? Where are these accents? Why is he French? I don't know.
I don't know why they used to go with the old standby and just make them Eastern European. That seems to be the favorite villain right now in Hollywood.
So anyway, he sends somebody basically talks about, hey, I know where Shelley is, and he tells the villains. And so Danny Houston plays the main villain in this film. And why the fuck Danny Houston is in this movie, I have no idea. God, I hope he got paid a lot, because he is too damn good an actor for this movie. So he sends Udo Kier and Tilda Swinton to go and kill Eric and Shelley, along with like random black guy who I don't think got named either. And that's a thing I've noticed in movies lately, folks. What is it about not giving characters names?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Stop it. I need to know who people are, please.
Yeah.
I had to look on IMDb to find out who all the character names in Alien Romulus is, because they don't say them during the movie.
Nope.
Unless you know.
That's my
Mr.
cousin.
Courtney
What's
got
your
to say it.
cousin's
Oh, it's
name?
yes, he's my cousin. Oh, he's my cousin, eh? Right. And I'm like, no, stop it, please. You know. Anyway. So he sends Tilda Swinton and Udo Kier and Random Black Guy to go and kill Shelley and Eric.
Random
Which because you don't know anything more about him. You just
they don't.
You
They
just,
don't go into character development.
There's no character development.
Great representation, right?
He drives Udo Kier and Tilda Swinton to go and kill Eric and Shelley. They sit in the back while he drives because, of course, and then he goes up there and does the murders with them because why not? Yeah, I guess
why not?
Because just whatever it was, it's kind of like he's kind of like Tom Arnold in True Lies. I've been sitting in the van for 15 years. I don't want to be in the van anymore. So anyway, they go up, they kill him. Don't bother to get the phone, which is what they're there for in the first place. I think the movie kind of forgets about the fact that the phone even exists. That has the evidence on it that they're looking for. And
that has nothing to do with The Crow or anything else. That is simple, basic storytelling.
There's none. And
was there Devil's Night in it or something? Wasn't that in the original? No. What doesn't have anything to do with the original Crow other than the character names.
You have the only thing it has to do with the original Crow is it has 2 character names. And the whole thing with the horse that was in the comic. With the horse and the going into the barbed wire. That happens. But that's it.
Was it a CG horse?
Almost certainly.
Or animatronic or something. Either way,
Or a combination.
Or a combination, yeah. Honestly, I couldn't really tell. But
and at this point, if it was a real horse and they had to put it down, it was probably a mercy because it was in this damn movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so that happens. He goes through the whole thing of going into purgatory. And where he meets a character named Kronos.
Is that a Greek god? Like time or something?
No, that would actually make some logical sense.
He actually does have to. There is some timey-wimey stuff that happens towards the end of the movie, yeah. But
time travel?
More like butterfly effect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Why?
So anyway, he goes into purgatory. He meets this character Kronos, who's played by the guy in The Siege, who played the character who turns out to be the head terrorist in that movie. If you ever saw it, with Denzel and Bruce Willis and Annette Bening. The villain from that movie, he's Kronos. And he kind of makes this half-ass attempt at explaining the rules of purgatory and all that, which of course kind of changed throughout the film when the plot needs it to. And he explains that Vincent, who's the villain, Danny Houston's character, basically made this deal with the devil to kind of live forever, I guess. And decides that but he decides, okay, but instead of doing good, he's being evil. I don't like that because I'm the evilest one. I'm the evilest of all evils, and this guy's trying to out evil me, and so I want him back down here so I can deal with him, And oh, by the way, you can get your girlfriend back if you take this guy out for me. It's kind of the story.
Oh,
So
wow.
he sends Eric back after kind of this, training montage, because half the movie's freaking montages.
Wait a minute, there's a training montage?
Sort of. I wouldn't call it that, but it is.
They play music during it, like a rock song or something? Or?
I think.
Okay.
I kind of... It's like, guys, I'm glad you put Joy Division in here, but don't involve Ian Curtis in this crap, please. Thank you.
Oh, no.
But because the Joy Division references actually go all the way back to the original comics. They got that right.
Surprisingly,
yeah. And so anyway, he goes back to back into the real world, I guess you could say. Questions a couple of random guys who all of a sudden seem to know everything, even though we're just meeting them in the movie now, and suddenly they know everything about what's going on. And Eric lets the one guy go. Because technically, the guy really didn't have anything to do with anything. He just was this guy who got scared. So he just, okay, fine, I get it. He lets him go. So he goes to this other guy who's like a tattoo artist. And again, and he's this guy who we're introduced to in the movie in that scene, but they treat him like he's been in the whole rest of the movie, which kind of makes you think a bunch of stuff got cut. And it feels like it. It feels like there was stuff cut out, and a lot of stuff that were... And there was a lot of stuff that was reshoots, and you can tell. Because this movie has a very kind of odd relationship with time. Because from the time Eric and Shelley first meet in rehab to when they're killed, it feels like it's only been like 2 or 3 days that this whole romance is going on. But then again, you get these little montages sprinkled throughout the movie that kind of make it look like, okay, well, this longer time passed. So it's like you don't know. There's no real sense of time in this movie at all, which doesn't help the pacing.
How's
so anyway,
Bill Skarsgård acting wise?
No.
Okay.
But in his defense, the movie doesn't give him anything to do.
Sounds like the director didn't give him any direction either.
He plays the junkie stuff as a junkie. And hello to Real Wade Nation gaming clubs. He plays the junkie stuff like, okay, I'm playing junkie. You don't buy the relationship between him and Shelley at all. He's basically a cuck. He's a simp for start to finish. When he goes on the rampage in the third act, when he finally becomes 100 proof crow, with
is that a line in the movie?
With 20 minutes of the movie to go. He goes on this rampage because because Vincent, I guess, Guys, I don't know. What would you say? Does he own that opera house? What the hell? They never really explain. But he hangs out in this opera house, and he's kind of involved with this girl who's a musician, but you never see her playing the instruments, and you only ever see you see them meet. Obviously, he fancies her, even though she's young enough to be his granddaughter. Literally, because in the film he's like hundreds of years old, he says. And then you see him with her at dinner one time, and then you see her in the back of his car, and then she kind of fucks off from the film, and you never see her again. So you kind of wonder, why was she even there in the first place? So anyway, basically he hangs out in this opera house, and they're about to do this show, and that's when Eric shows up, and he goes on his rampage and kills all these kind of random guards who basically are just guards. The difference in the original movie, you knew all the bad guys were bad guys.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. They're all scumbags. They're all drug dealers, murderers, what have you. These guys are just guys doing their job. They're just security. They're just guys.
Well,
and he tears through all these guys and finally works his way up to taking down Udo Kier and Tilda Swinton. And he does them in, and then he has the whole final confrontation with Vincent, where they go down into purgatory and have this fight, and Kronos shows up and does his little supernatural whammy thing, and bye Vincent, back to hell now.
It sounds like he was trying to make a Spawn movie.
Yes. And I think Shashi said that in the chat, that it sounds more like it's so Eric Draven is now Spawn. Yeah. Yeah. It's like well, when I saw the movie, I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of, and I didn't think Spawn right away, but I was thinking they were trying to do like a Constantine. They were trying to do like a really lame Constantine Spawn movie, It's very obvious that the people who did this did not understand the source material. Okay. There's nothing supernatural about the Crow other than he comes back from the dead for revenge. That's it. He's the supernatural one, not the characters around him. These are not immortals. They're not demons. This movie is just like a large pile of what the hell, and
literally.
There's a point in the movie when Eric sees the video, and he kind of loses faith in Shelley because he sees her do this murder. It's like the wall is finally gone from over his eyes, and he finally sees her for what she was before they met. Not that she's much different after they met, but still, So he loses faith in her, and when he loses faith in her, he loses his powers. Not that he really had them up to that point in the movie, but the idea is that he doesn't regenerate as quickly. after that happens. And he gets sent back into purgatory, and Kronos tells him, okay, you lost faith in her. You can't go back. Screw all this. Forget the plan. Da-da-da-da. All right. Again, he changes his mind on everything because the plot needs him to. But then he basically decides, okay, I'll save her, but you can't come back. If you really, if you still love her at all, okay, you know, I don't know. He kind of changes on a dime. You know, it's weird. It's a weird scene. I don't get it. But anyway, he goes from screw this, she's going to die, she's going to go to hell, and you don't get to go back. You get to stay here in purgatory with me. To like within 30 seconds, okay, I'll save her, but you have to stay here. You know, it's like, you know, Star Trek Discovery writing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody just turns on a freaking dime. And anyway, so he goes back. The whole confrontation thing happens, and so once Vincent gets sent back to hell by the tentacled black goo creature that shows up out of nowhere and drags him into hell, and Kronos goes back to the moment when the paramedics are trying to revive Shelley and Eric. And he revives Shelley because suddenly he can be a paramedic now. So he revives her and he tells her, you know, I'm sorry, you know, your friend is dead. And she looks over and Eric's dead. And then the final shot of the movie is Eric walking alone, you know, through purgatory, you know, or the one set that they had in the movie that's purgatory. And that's where the movie leaves them.
Were they planning a sequel? I think they were planning a sequel, though, weren't they?
It plays like it does sequel bait at the end. Yeah.
Skarsgård wasn't happy about that. He says they kind of tacked that on. Yeah.
He shouldn't be. It's a god awful movie. And I don't even know where to begin with it, to be honest. Okay, let me go back to the chat here. Sashi says, fighting through henchmen, then two main bad guys, finally the big bad. That's like the raid too. How dare you, sir? How dare you mention the raid in concurrence with this movie? How dare you, sir? But yeah, I mean, I'll give them that. He does like start with the underlings first and then work his way up to the main henchman and then the big bad. I'll give them that. They do that in order at least. So basically this reboot takes out the best parts of the whole film. Yes. One of the things I loved about the first Crow is the romance. I never read the graphic novel, but in the movie you can tell they had an epic love that was part of the magic. Yeah, well, there's no magic and no epic anything in this. So take the Crow, remove the best parts, mix up with Faust and demonic bastardization of what dreams may come. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's a shame they didn't do it, though.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, just if they had just had different names for them, I would have just said, you know what, generic action movie. But no, I mean, there's nothing to like about this. It's a cash grab film made by people who didn't understand the source material, so they didn't try to make it. And they pulled the same thing that Alien Romulus did and stick in these lines of dialogue from the original movie, just kind of haphazardly sprinkled.
Did it have Stormy Daniels in it? I need Stormy Daniels.
God. No, we don't go there.
If only. Damn, that would have made the movie better for a few minutes.
He made me sit through all that when he was discussing.
So
Okay.
how were the special effects? Were they any good?
The special effects serve their purpose.
How was his makeup job on Skarsgård? Was it as good as the original Crow? The way they made him look?
No.
The original was better.
They're
much
bad. Really bad.
I should say that.
The original was made in '93, folks, and 93 was better than what they did today.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to go on that long about it, but it's not a good movie at all. And
I can feel my hair turn gray. Kidding.
Okay.
That was Lionsgate, right?
What?
On that note,
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Well, whatever. If you have anything you want to go into, discuss, whatever, the floor is yours.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day. Yeah.
It's officially here.
Indeed. Everything will be closed.
Yeah.
You cannot go to the bank because it will be closed.
Well,
there will be no garbage pickup because it will be closed.
My bank is usually closed on Mondays anyways, so.
Yeah.
Which studio had the best summer, you think?
I don't know. Okay. What? Well, okay.
Who's winning at the box office?
Disney actually did okay because you have Deadpool did well.
Inside Out 2 did well.
Inside Out 2 did very well.
But when you actually count up the budget and consider how much they lost on things like their streaming shows, I don't think they're coming out ahead.
They're still advertising for the Acolyte. They're still advertising for it on Facebook. On Facebook.
They're not even advertising anymore. They're begging. They're basically begging.
That's a lost cause.
I want to go to Facebook to see things with my family members and friends, and I get ads for the Acolyte in there.
The Acolyte.
The Crack-a-Light.
Yeah, and going back to what was said before when it comes to internet, Outlaw Bill's favorite show, yeah. Going back to what we were saying earlier about YouTube critics and whatnot, I do have a certain group that I trust. Jeremy Johns is the main one. Because I always have fun with his videos. You know, I have never failed to laugh at least once during one of his reviews. You know, so he's kind of the main one right now. A lot of people dump on Chris Stuckman, but I'll still watch his videos. You know, I disagreed with him about what he said about Madam Web and his Madam Web non-review, I guess. I mean,
where is Shelby Oaks?
All right, here's what happened with Shelby Oaks. Okay, Shelby Oaks was essentially going to go straight to VOD. That was always going to be the plan. They never aimed for a theatrical release. It was just pretty much, let's get the movie made, and then maybe it'll wind up on Tubi or something. However, Mike Flanagan, and you all know who Mike Flanagan is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mike Flanagan saw the movie at a film festival and said, I will back the movie. I will give you the money you need to get a theatrical release. So this movie that we were originally going to get on VOD this year is now going to be a wide theatrical release with Mike Flanagan as an executive producer, and it's going to get a theatrical release next year. So that's why
Well, 2025 is not that far away.
No. So all we got to do is basically we got to wait a few extra months, but we're going to get the film, and not on the small screen. We're going to get it on the big screen. And I actually think that's cool as hell. I think that's great news. You know, I think it's very encouraging. So yeah, that's what happened to Shelby Oaks. But going back to the film criticism in general, you know, yeah, I have this group here on YouTube that I will pay attention to. I always tell people in my reviews that my reviews are my opinion and my opinion alone. And maybe I might change my mind one way or another on a film, you know, because it's about, with me anymore, it's usually if a movie resonates with me after a certain, you know, how long will a movie kind of stick with me? And I'm thinking about it as time goes by. You know, and then there are the movies that you kind of forget about right after you saw them. But with me, I always tell people, you know, it's okay to disagree with one of my reviews. If I like something that you didn't, or vice versa, that's great. You know, hey, that's what the comment section is for. Tell me I'm full of it. But, you know, I always say, don't just go by my opinion. You know, seek out other reviews. Go see it for yourself, you know, if you disagree. But, you know, it's all subjective. You know, there are people who love Alien Romulus. I don't know what movie they saw.
Or what they were on.
Yeah, or what they were on, yeah. And
one screen, two films, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and could I have some of whatever that is you're smoking, please? But, you know, because it wasn't for me. The Crow is not for me, but I mean, I have actually heard a couple of reviews on that movie that went, actually it's okay. And I'm like, again, I don't know what movie you saw, but okay, if you enjoy it, great, But the thing with me is I've had to change the way I review a film because I take streaming into account. I take writing to high seas into account. Especially after I found out what the average ticket price is. I am not going to tell people to spend $16 a pop on fucking Alien Romulus. I'm not going to do it. There's no movie there. It's a mixtape with a Cockney accent.
Salt and water.
It's
with a bunch of nobody actors.
I'm not going to tell anybody to spend the money to go see The Crow or Borderlands.
I forgot about that.
Or I was going to say Madam Web, but I've seen so many bad movies of late. I'm starting to like Madam Web a little bit more. That's how sad this is, because Madam Web was my worst movie of the year so far for so long. And I'll just say it's not anymore. And I'll just leave it at that because Bill and I still have a 10 best and worst movie video to do, and I don't want to give away the store. But man, oh man, there have definitely been some disappointments this year. But there have been some really good movies too. There's a movie called Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo. That movie is fantastic. He's great. He's Oscar level in that movie. There's a movie that Bill and I watched a couple of weeks ago called The Dead Don't Hurt with Viggo Mortensen. Fantastic film. And it didn't play in theaters. Nobody went to go see it. It's great. Mm-hmm. Land of Bad is a lot of fun. It's on Netflix now. See that. I like the Bike Riders. Boomer didn't go for it. I understand it, but hey, I liked it. I think it's worth seeing.
League of Gentlemanly Warfare.
You like that movie better than I did, but I think it's a rental. But still, better than half the movies I've seen this year. I'll tell you another Bill Skarsgård movie that's better than The Crow. Boy Kills World.
Yeah. That one was pretty good.
I would prefer that over The Crow by far.
Yeah, I need to see that one.
It's basically like it almost plays like a video game, but it's fine.
He has a video game character voice in him, doesn't he?
Yeah. He can't speak. Okay, because spoiler alert, he gets his tongue cut out. But so he can't speak. So in his mind, he speaks like this video game character, and and it's H. John Benjamin, the guy who did Archer, and it's hilarious. This voice that comes out of him, you know. And they have a character in that movie. And the idea is that Bill Skarsgård can communicate with other people because he can read lips, so he can tell what people are saying. But there's this one character, he cannot tell what the guy is saying. But the difference between that and Alien Romulus is here, it's done as a joke. You're not supposed to understand what he's saying, you know. All right, right. You know, he's going to tell you the plan, you know. Cucumber marshmallows, you know. Delta Fox, grab the cat, you know. You're like, wait, what, this is the plan? What? You know, because you can't understand them. You can't understand them. So, you know, that's actually a funny bit in the film. Curtis, let me see. This is Curtis. I've seen a review. They said it was great. On that note, I'm going to bed. Need my blankie, my teddy bear, my Star Trek. Yeah, unlock time. All right. Good night, Curtis. I'm surprised he made it this long, actually. Get some sleep, bud. Take care. Sashi says Hollywood is on its hold my beer face this year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I want to see that vampire movie, the French vampire movie, the Humanist vampire movie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The humanist vampire seeking someone who wants to take his own life. Remember?
Oh, right.
That one I want to see. I want to see
yes.
that
Oh,
yeah. Okay, I know what you mean now. Yeah,
better than maybe. Of course, we do have the poo verse.
Pooverse
coming out.
God, that's just dirty.
Pooniverse.
You know, that's just wrong.
They're doing a Sleeping Beauty. I wonder what that's going to be about, huh?
Oh, that can't be good.
No.
She gonna be a zombie or something? Is that why she's sleeping? She's like dead or something? I don't know.
Or is something going to happen to her while she's sleeping?
And the Mad Hatter, who I guess will be mad and kill people, right? I guess.
Well,
I'll get Johnny Depp to reprise the role. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I saw a trailer where it's an Australian film, but Michael Bihn's in it, of all people.
Really?
And it is, I am not kidding, a zombie kangaroo.
I want to see it.
So do I.
I want to see it. I don't care. You said zombie kangaroo.
It's called like Big Red or something.
Yep.
This looks insane.
That'll be a movie of the year. Okay.
Now, when Bill and I did the 10 worst last year, well, really earlier this year, because I think we did the show in March, but still, we both had Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on our lists. I think we both had it at number 10, which I know you're thinking, number 10? How bad were the other 10? How bad were the other 9? Pretty fucking bad.
Well.
But, you know, and I think one of the reasons why I was so easy on it was the fact that I saw it on Peacock, so I didn't pay anything for it. But if I had to pay like the Fathom event prices that you had to see it in theaters for, I think I would have been way more upset. You know. But I actually heard a few people say the second one was actually better. So I don't know what to think there.
There we go.
Yeah, you know, we're getting Bambi next, I guess, and
Pinocchio.
There's supposed to be a Cinderella one
There are two different Cinderellas, but I don't know if it's by these people. One's called Cinderella's Revenge. I know that much.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, the people who are doing this Hooniverse, as Bloody Disgusting is calling it in this article, now the guy who's directing all of these movies is a Reese Wakefield, and this is a guy who does like about 5 or 6 of like these straight to video horror movies a year. He did a movie a couple of years back called The Killing Tree, which is like this like killer Christmas tree movie. I'm not kidding. He did that Firenado movie, which was the same year as Blood and Honey, which I didn't recommend, but it didn't make my list, because it's like if you can make it through Sharknado, you can make it through Firenado, because it's one of those movies where you feel like, okay, it's happening to the characters in the movie, but not the rest of the world, because you can still see like cars just driving in the background in some shots, and you can just see like people calmly walking down the street and whatnot, as this supposedly cataclysmic, fire tornadoes is blowing through everything. It's one of those kind of movies, it's like, it's like, okay, this is like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. I can stand that. But yeah, I mean, this guy directs like about 5 or 6 of these kind of movies a year, and now he's gotten a hold of this, because all of these movies are all of these are like they're public domain now, so it's like everything's up for grabs. There's like a Steamboat Willie horror movie.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Killer
it yet.
Mickey Mouse,
it's
man.
like,
What's up
it's
with
like
that?
The Mousetrap or something. I don't
Mousetrap,
remember.
that's what it's called. Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, we're going to be seeing. Cinderella's Curse is the other one. Connie says, yeah. And one of them has Natasha Henstridge in it, so I want to see that one just because she's in it.
Not
her godmother.
Yeah. So this is happening, folks, like it or not. We're in, we'll have some laughs, Mark Malnikoff says, man, I don't really want to go to a theater. Too expensive these days. I'm having more fun discovering foreign films, watching a Russian film, Convoy 48, about the railroad built to relieve Leningrad. I first heard of that movie a few days ago, so I'm kind of going to look into that one and find out a little bit more about it. I might decide to give that a look. Sashi says, Sleeping Beauty featuring Bill Cosby. Ooh. Eek. 9. No, Bill Cosby, you cannot have my Trapper Keeper. Remember that from South Park?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to ask for a pudding top.
I don't think anybody got my reference earlier. For those of you who might not have seen it, and if not, why not? Earlier on Geeky Geezers, for the opening segment, which, of course, because it's 2:00 in the morning, the name of which escapes me right now, there was a segment about Trapper Keepers. And that got me thinking to the South Park episode, where basically Cartman's Trapper Keeper turns into Skynet for some damn reason. And this guy from the future has to come back Kyle Reese-like and deal with this thing. And and they start calling him Bill Cosby and give this guy your trapper keeper. No, Bill Cosby, I will not give you my trapper keeper. I'm rambling, but anyway, there was a South Park episode, and I know it was real.
It was
I
called,
believe you.
if I remember, it was called Trapper Keeper for that one. If that's the one I'm looking at right now,
Yeah,
for South Park. I haven't seen that one in ages. Have to rewatch it again.
Cool.
your trapper keeper has become self-aware. Yeah. Terrific.
Run,
Wonderful.
Forrest, run.
Oh, well, folks, this is about the time when we start to wrap things up. I think we've beaten all of these subjects to death, and I think we should let them up now. We'll go. We'll go one more time around the horn here. Troy, what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, later tonight, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Last calls Monday night at the movie. We're doing a 1993 action film double feature, Cliffhanger and The Last Action Hero. And unless I'm mistaken, you're joining me for that, Deleted Scenes. Am I correct?
I am.
Awesome. Well, you'll tell them about Tuesday. I'll be doing something on Tuesday with you too. And then Thursday, I'll be hanging out with Netter on Netter's Network, where we will be interviewing Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. Find out what's going on his channel and making sure you guys are all subscribed to him. Friday, Boomer and I will be talking about scapegoating the fans. It's a trend that has to stop in the entertainment industry. Feel very strongly about that. And I think it's long past due that we talk about that. And finally, I'll be joining Netter over on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, 9 Central, 10 Eastern for Little Shop of Horrors, the musical with Rick Moranis.
Right on. Connie.
I'll be revamping some of my videos I'm going to be doing so I can post them, try to repost them again. For my movies I'm going to be doing this week on Wednesday is going to be Love at First Bite, 1979, with Mr. Tan Man himself.
Yeah, that's for sure. He
Been a
was
few
tan,
years
all right.
Oh, most definitely. Been a few years since I seen that one. And I'm going to probably be doing the original Body Snatchers on Friday for the movie night. And it's it for me right now.
All right. Boomer.
Yeah, I will be on your stream this coming Tuesday for Sparkwood 21, and then I will be on Friday for Last Call, where Troy mentioned the scapegoating of the fans, and then Geeky Geezers on Sunday.
All right. Bill.
Bill?
Yeah.
Bill.
I'm gonna go into some cave and then I'm gonna come go for a hunt. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Ah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, bring that back around to me. Of course, tomorrow night, Last Call, Monday night at the movies, Cliffhanger, and Last Action Hero. That will be beginning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Live from Sparkwood 21. where I will be joined by Troy Netter and Boomer. And we're going to be watching episode 10 of Twin Peaks: The Return. Let's see. Gets us on over to Thursday. I will be joining Bill for Action Theater. And we will be watching Goldfinger. Sean Connery is 007. Yes, that would be Thursday at 4:30. And let's see, Thursday after Thursday things will be my show, the Weekend Update. My chance to touch base with my subscribers and let everybody know what is coming up for the week after. Let's see. Right. Of course, Sunday, I'll be joining Bill again for Western Cinema Presents. And this upcoming show is going to be a special one because this is the often requested Blazing Saddles. And it will be the 50th anniversary edition. In honor of that, we are going to be watching the film. And we actually have the whole month of September planned for that program because we also have let's see what right, because we're going to be doing also the Wild Bunch, the Outlaw Josie Wales, and the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So that's going to be Western Cinema Presents for the next month. And we do have some stuff planned for those programs because we also have the Shaun of the Dead 20th anniversary coming up. And I know Bill's a horror fan. I know Connie is.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the Shaun of the Dead film as well. So I'm sure we're going to be doing that at some point. So yeah, we've definitely got some irons in the fire, movies that we want to do, and especially when we start getting closer to Halloween. I know Bill has some things in mind. I know Big Al has some things in mind. We've been discussing some things behind the scenes. I don't want to go too much into detail, but man, there's going to be some surprises. These next couple of months, watch out for all of our channels, man, because there is some really fun stuff coming up. I'm definitely going to be doing some things that I want to do for my channel to maybe kind of upgrade and update some things. And this group that is sitting on this panel right now, I think we would all agree, you guys have really been getting mistreated by modern day Hollywood. And we want to bring the old school entertainment back. And definitely in the next couple of months with the watch parties that we have planned, we are going to be bringing some of that back to you. And
for what I'm doing, some of the people, the members that are coming to mine, some of them never seen these before, especially the silent ones.
Mhm.
Comedy and horror.
Yeah.
And some of them never hadn't seen The Little Rascals in ages, which I know you've seen them deleted when I had them on that one time.
Oh yeah.
I plan on doing some of the Laurel and Hardys too, provided if I have a short enough movie, I could actually show a couple.
Yeah. And Bill's birthday is coming up, and I know he's got a lot of stuff planned for that day. There's going to be a big birthday bash, and so yeah, I mean, stay tuned, folks. This is going to be fun, I think, and I'm glad we could be here for it. All right. Any last words before we call it a night?
Thank you for having us on, Deleted.
Absolutely.
No,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
anytime.
Super appreciate all of you guys that come out late at night, wind out your weekend with us, encourage us to keep coming back and doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Hope to see everyone on the next stream. Much love, peace.
Indeed. I'd like to thank everyone who joined us on Twitter. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Everyone who joined us in the chat, including everyone who was on Troy's channel and Connie's. From HQ and all points, north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe. Because this is how we win.